Hey guys, welcome to another NGTV sports scene. This is the one with me and Gaz personally been waiting to do. Obviously, we've got the Manchester Derby on the weekend, and then we've got the big UFC card on the weekend also. I think it's fair to start off with the midweek games that have just been. So the game on Tuesday was Manchester City 4, Wolves 1. I don't know how to explain the game. It was pretty.
It was a weird game for one.
Yeah,
City had, I think it was upwards of 20 shots on goal. It was quite one. I would say it was quite one-sided, but then when they equalised, it was like, oh god, this is going to be one of them games. As I was saying to you, like I checked the score in like the 79th minute, and it was 1-1. And then when I checked the score at full time, I was just like 4-1. I thought I was
yeah,
misreading it, type of thing. So
yeah. I mean, the first half it was probably one of the most one-sided games I've ever seen. Wolves couldn't get out their own half. Um, when I seen the Wolves lineup before the game, and they had Pedro Neto and Adama Traore up front, and I thought that could be tricky if they play any balls over the top and let them to just start bobbing onto things, and then um, it just didn't happen for them, and we were constantly all over them. When we were losing the ball, we were pressing straight away, winning the ball back straight away. Um, then we went 1-0 up. We thought we went 2-0 up. The
I,
goal got disallowed for offside.
what did you think about that? And I personally thought, even seeing the VAR, that was onside.
I thought he was onside. I thought when the linesman put the flag up, Laporte was adamant that he was onside as well.
Yeah,
Um, so then when they started doing the lines, I thought when they did the lines that the line wasn't really straight. It looked like it was on like a bit of an angle,
yeah.
which it then showed him to be offside. But it's just VAR, really, isn't
And
it?
they nearly tried to take the last one off you as well.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, the linesman, well, the lineswoman that put the flag up for offside, she put the flag up against West Brom and tried to deny us a goal as well, and then that one got overturned as well. That's twice. She put the flag up, and then it's actually overruled it and said that it was offside.
Yeah,
Um, but with the way VAR is now, I think Walker was like a yard onside, but with VAR, it's nowadays that's clearly onside. It's like a mile onside now, like a
yeah.
yard onside. So I thought that was a mistake on their behalf. But I think I've seen a lot of City games this year where we've gone 1-0 up, and we'll just go through the motions because we know we're going to win. We're not going to concede, and they'll just go through the motions. And when Wolves equalised, that was Connor Cody's first ever shot on target in the Premier League, by the way.
That's wild.
So yeah, he scored it as well. And it kind of, when Wolves equalised, it kind of looked at ourselves and went, right, okay, right,
Kind of lit
okay,
that fire.
yeah, we'll just and then we kind of just went to the next gear. Then it just went bam, 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 and then won convincingly. And I don't think we've had to do that the past recent weeks. I think we've not really got out of first gear. So it's weird to say, but it was nice to see us go back level to see if we can go to that next gear, and obviously we did. So
Yeah,
it was pretty comfortable in the end. But you'd probably be very disappointed if you was Wolves. Obviously, in the 80th minute, it was like 1-1,
yeah.
and then to lose like 4 goals to 1, you're obviously not going to be happy. But it's 21 straight wins now as well.
Titles sewn up as well, especially considering what we're about to move on to in the United game, which
Yeah,
I honestly can't think of anything to say about that game other than boring, pathetic. Just yet again, United dropping points to the lesser teams in the league, basically.
yeah. Well, I said to you before we obviously started recording this that I didn't watch it because it was my daughter's birthday yesterday. So I think I was obviously seeing all the results and stuff like that, but I didn't really get to see any of the games. But when I've been speaking to people, apparently it was an absolute snooze fest. So apparently there wasn't really any highlights to do or
No,
anything like that. So
I
um,
honestly, the only thing to say about that game is 2 more points lost.
yeah,
The only shining light to come out of it is that Leicester drew as well, so we didn't lose points on there.
yeah. I mean, it's surprising that's Man United's third consecutive 0-0 draw as well.
There's a lack of imagination. Like there's just no I. They're trying to do the same thing constantly, and
Yeah,
teams realize it now. So it's just like, well, if we just stand here, we'll just stop you.
yeah. I think looking at the Palace team, I looked at the Palace team like after the game and stuff. And again, not even because it was Palace, because I said in the last podcast that Selhurst Park is still a hard place to go,
Yeah,
and it's not a given. But when you look at the team sheet, and there was no Zaha, who were playing a centre mid at centre back because they've got centre back problems,
yeah,
and he ended up getting man of the match. Um, you got to look at it. You got to think that's probably a massive chance. Obviously, with the Leicester result as well, like you said, they must have looked at themselves for that. That is a massive, massive missed opportunity there.
yeah.
Um, but again, they got to be very careful that they don't drag themselves into this top four race.
I feel like they
Because
already have.
they were, yeah. I mean, I think they were like 9 points ahead of like fifth or sixth, but now it's starting to get closer and closer because they keep dropping points.
Yeah,
So I think they have to. Obviously, there's the big derby on the weekend, and then if let's say if City win, and the other teams around them win, then I think United are only going to be 2 or 3 points then from being inside or outside the top four. Which, if you said that a few weeks ago, they were in like the title race. So it's crazy what's happened. What a few weeks can do.
yeah.
But what would you say United need to do to change things? Do you think they haven't got a plan B if plan A doesn't work? Or
There isn't a plan B. Yeah, that's the problem. Because at the moment it's that same thing, isn't it? You know, side to side and wait for the opening to open up, and if it doesn't open up, just give it to like Martial or Rush and hope they can take 8 players on. You know, it's not going to work. So they've got to find a way to draw teams out and stuff, but it's just not happening.
yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be a stupid question, but do you think they're heavily reliant on Bruno Fernandes to
Yeah.
have like a piece of magic or to do something? You know, if he doesn't have a great game, it seems like United don't win.
Yeah, it's always dependent on that. Like no matter who is on that pitch, it's like someone has to make something happen. Like that's what I'm saying with like the zero. If, as you say, if Bruno doesn't do something, then nobody else seems to have the imagination to create something. And I don't know what the answer is at the moment.
Yeah, it's it's a toughie, really, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
some people are saying, obviously, I was speaking with my Man United friend, and he was saying if this was a few years ago and this was Jose in all his shoes now, there'd be absolute uproar, saying it's boring, it's doing this, it's doing that, and he was saying that there's no improvement on what he did when he come runners up against Man City, but he won trophies.
Yeah. So
It's that he actually went out and won.
so
trophy.
now
I know there's
are we
still a
thinking-
possibility that Ole can still win trophies.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't know. Maybe they pour into like the cups now and just focus that. But like you say, if they're not careful, they will drop into that top 4 battle and maybe drop out of it as well.
yeah, and I think that's the big issue, because I think that will impact whatever they do in the next transfer window as well, whether
Yeah.
you get top 4. The same with Liverpool as well.
Oh, exactly.
And I've seen where United are obviously linked with Haaland as well. And me personally, although he would be an amazing signing, I think there's other areas that United need to use that money to strengthen. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. But like, it would be helpful to have like that out and out striker that's capable of like, because you see it a lot of the time. Martial gets the ball in those central areas where having a good like finisher, like it's not that Martial's not a good finisher, but having that guy with like that brain to make the right runs would be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Martial as well. I mean, I've always said he's got bags of potential, but he doesn't just
He
something
doesn't,
just doesn't click.
yeah, he doesn't
And
apply it
I mean, how long do Man United wait for him to
to realise his
burst?
potential.
Yeah, to burst onto the scene.
Yeah, because like he'll have like a stretch of like 10 games where he's amazing, and then he just goes missing. He's just not consistent enough, unfortunately.
And it's crazy. I say he's got. I always say he reminds me of when Man City had Balotelli. Balotelli
Yeah.
had unreal potential, but it was just here and there. And some days he just turned up and he couldn't be arsed really. And I kind of see that in Martial. Like I say, he's got bags of potential, but
Don't you think it's wild that someone could be paid that much money and show up to work and not be asked?
definitely, especially because it's like you say, the money, but it's to do something that you've like any lad when he's growing up, they probably want to be a footballer.
Yeah,
That's like the ultimate dream.
and like one
So
percent of people get to realise that dream.
exactly, it's a very very small pool of people that get to do it for
Yeah,
a living, and it's crazy to me. Like, well, you get some players like that, don't you? You get some players that have just got loads of potential, but they never.
yeah. There's been a lot of like that through the years. Like people who thought, were going to be absolutely amazing, and just attitude stopped them basically.
Yeah, and I think that's where like when you get like a new signing from abroad and everyone's like Havertz for Chelsea. He was meant to be one of the young guys who were going to be like the next best thing and have to hype him up, and then he's got all that bags of potential and he's not doing it, and
Yeah,
it's frustrating as
it's
well.
rough.
But
I mean, there's not to say that Havertz it's down to his attitude. Maybe it's just adapting to the English game, but like it is crazy to see when someone gets so hyped up and then just doesn't perform.
it's mental. But I say we've obviously mentioned Leicester, but they drew 1-1 that turf moor with Burnley. So that again is going to heap more pressure on Brendan Rodgers as well because of what happened last year that we previously gone through as well. It just seems, obviously, apart from Man City now, everyone is just so inconsistent, and just don't know how it's going to end up this year.
Yeah, I suppose the game tonight is going to be can have a big effect on that as well, with Liverpool taking on Chelsea. Like, I think are they fourth and fifth or fourth and sixth or something. They're definitely.
Yeah, I think Everton play before them as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's right.
So if Everton win their game before they kick off, Everton will go into fourth.
Right.
So that means Liverpool will drop down to 7, Chelsea will drop down to
Fifth,
6.
I think, or something. Yeah.
Something like that.
I
I don't
don't know. Yeah, but
mine's gone blank, but yeah.
yeah.
So that if Everton do win, that will probably heap more pressure on that Liverpool Chelsea game as well. So it's coming to the point now where teams are. It's going to be, if you lose, it's going to be massive.
Yeah. It's that old thing as well, isn't it? That's when people say this one's a 6-pointer. I feel like this one really is like.
Yeah, and it will be a good game, I think. I'm just not sure. Again, I keep changing my mind on it, but I think if I had to choose someone, I probably would go with Chelsea to win.
Same.
I know Liverpool beat Sheffield United last weekend, I think it was. But they're awful, aren't they? The rock bottom of the league. But again, they didn't look great in that game either. And I think Chelsea under Tuchel do look okay.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
and I've got a feeling that they might play Werner on the wing tonight as well, especially with the issue with the two centre backs.
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold hasn't had a good season at all,
No.
so I think they'll try and use his pace, and they've got a lot of pace going on the counter attack.
Yeah.
So I think if I had to choose a team, I probably won't go Chelsea.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you for that one. No.
Yeah.
A game that I don't think is going to be pretty, and it's not going to help United's season, is on the weekend for the derby. Now we've got, City in potentially some of the best form they've ever been in, just looking unstoppable, and then you've got inconsistent United. Don't really seem to get up for the big games either. Looking at the record against the top six, we scored 1 goal against the top six, which is a penalty in a 6-1 loss.
Yeah, I think maybe that was the reason of why United seemed so conservative when they play big teams. That was the first big team they played this year, wasn't it? Spurs, and
yeah.
So they got beat 6-1 at Old Trafford, and I think from then on, as soon as they played a big team, they've gone a little bit conservative. So maybe that did play a factor, but sounds stupid. It is a derby, so they do say derbies form goes out the window, and but you never have to say. It's going to be. We're going to have a lot of the ball.
Yeah.
United will play on the counter attack. But I think recently United have had a pretty good record at the Etihad, so
yeah, just don't see this year's United doing anything. Like, I try to be optimistic, but I just can't see anything other than City fucking walking a few goals in past us, like 3 or 4, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'd say it's probably hard to go against Man City just at this moment in time, but it's just something in the back of my mind. I was thinking this run's got to come to an end soon.
Yeah, I suppose.
So,
yeah.
United's it'd be interesting as well, because the run that City run beaten in about 25, 26 games, 21 wins in a row. United have also haven't lost away in over a year in the Premier League. So there's a good chance it's probably going to end 0-0.
As I say, so it's got 0-0 written all over it then.
Yeah, so I'd say most big games have not been that great this season, have they? So
there's not really been a big game where you've been like, oh, I'm really looking forward to that, and it's actually lived up to that.
Yeah, there's been a few games this year where I thought, oh, there's a tasty game on the weekends, and then I've watched it and it's just
0-0.
like, yeah, it's just been crap. But yeah, you've got two unbeaten runs that are going to be put on the line. Hopefully, you get an exciting game. I think it depends on what United turn up.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't get up for the derby, what can you get up for?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the top of the table clash. It's a Manchester derby.
Yeah.
United are probably not going to. I think we're 14 clear now, so they're not going to want to go 17 points behind us. They want to.
At this point, it doesn't matter. You've won the league. Like, might as well give you the trophy now, in my opinion. But at least play for pride.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not nice for seeing your rival. I doubt they're going to want to see Man City go win the league by 22, 23 points.
Yeah,
they're going to want to make it try and look respectable. But as I say, whether that's the case or just depends on what team United turn up in, my opinion, whether it's going to be a decent game or not, or how Ollie sets up the team in this big game.
that one's
say we've all
Sunday for that one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, just I think he will set up conservatively again.
So do I.
I mean, you won't possibly blame him playing the way we're playing at the moment, but I just think we'll do it. I think we'll win. Being a City fan, I want it to be like a rampant victory as well. I won't want to see like a like a 1-0 or
No,
even possibly like a 0-0. I know that'll probably be like a good result for us in the long run, but you want to win the derby.
Exactly. Yeah, personally, I can see it being a bit of a bloodbath, to be honest, and it doesn't excite me. But one bloodbath that does excite me, potentially, is the UFC this weekend. Now, I think we've waited about 4 weeks to talk about this UFC. Um,
We've been mentioning this for weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, one of the most stacked cards we've ever seen. I think only once before have we ever seen like 3 title fights on the same card. And if I remember rightly, that night all 3 titles changed hands. I don't see it going that way to Saturday. So the 3 fights we have is Jan Blachowicz, the light heavyweight champion, versus Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion. Adesanya undefeated in the UFC this far. We've got Amanda Nunes, the 2-weight world champion, taking on Megan Anderson, and Peter Yan, probably Peter Yan.
Peter Yan, yeah.
Peter Yan. Versus Aljamain Sterling. Yan is 15-1 and is 7 fights undefeated in the UFC. Aljamain is 19-3, and I think maybe 15 of those fights or something have been in the UFC. He's been in the UFC for a while now. Even beyond those fights as well, there's some crazy fights on the card. So,
you know, the one fight I'm really looking forward to, and it's not any of the title fights.
Is it Santos versus Rakic?
Santos Rakic. Oh my god, fight. I can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, that was one that I was just like, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that Rakic is an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see how Santos comes back from that injury. When he fought John Jones.
Has he not fought since? Is this his first fight back since, or has he had one?
I think this is his first fight back.
Right.
If I remember it right. I don't think he's fought since John Jones.
I'm trying to think if he had one before this.
Because I know he had a serious injury. I'm not sure whether it was both his.
It was both.
Was it both his legs? Yeah.
Both ACLs or something.
Yeah. So I have been watching the Embedded series as well. And I'm not sure. There's so many fights where I'm just like, I can't wait for that fight to happen. And even the prelims has got Dominic Cruz and Benavidez, and it's a crazy card, man.
It is a wild card. I was having a little look through yesterday, and just usually I usually watch from the first fight anyway, but usually the first couple of fights, it's like I might see some up-and-coming young guy that, in the next few years is going to be massive. But even with this one, starting at the early prelims, I'm pretty sure, on the prelims, you've got Cruz and Benavidez. That's an ex-champion and an ex-title challenger.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's unreal, man. And I wanted to speak about, obviously the main event is Yan and Israel.
Yeah.
We've never seen Adesanya in the UFC fight at light heavyweight. How do you think he's? Do you think he will? Do you think he'll bulk up well? Do you think he'll handle light heavyweight well? Or
I think if I'm right, he fought some of his kickboxing career at light heavyweight. So I don't think it's going to be something that's foreign to him. But I did see. I think he was talking to Ariel Helwani, and he said, "Don't be surprised if I weigh in at 193. I'm not going to put needless weight on, type of thing."
Yeah.
So we could see him almost going in there what he would as a middleweight, basically, because obviously after the weigh-ins and the rehydration, he's probably a lot heavier than 185.
Yeah.
So we could just see him go at this the normal way, basically, and just not cut as much weight as he normally would. It
could be dangerous as well, because that Polish power's a real thing.
That is true. I see this, like, it's hard to back against Adesanya because everything he's done so far. I mean, he's what, 21-0 or something like that. You know, the guy just hasn't lost. Even in kickboxing, his only loss was, you know, one knockout loss to Alex Pereira, who's now in MMA and destroying people in that as well. So, but as you say, the legendary Polish power, you know, if he catches him. And then I'm not entirely sure if I've ever seen if Jan's ever been hurt either.
No, I've seen. I'm not sure whether. Can't remember if it was his last fight now. Was Adesanya's last fight Paulo Costa?
Yeah.
I think it was the fight before that where he did get caught a few times.
Was Robert Whittaker before that?
I can't remember. I mean, mine's gone blank again.
Yeah.
I know.
It's one of them where you wish you'd written it down, but
Yeah, but I think he was getting caught a few times, and then I'm just thinking.
oh, Yoel Romero, he must have fought before then, I think.
Yeah, I just think to myself, if he does that against Jan at a higher weight class,
Yeah. If he catches
is it going to cost him?
Yeah.
You know how is I mean how he's going to take that extra. I know he's I think he's even fought at heavyweight before in kickboxing.
I think he might have done, yeah.
So I know that he has fought those bigger guys before, but not in these 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah. He's a tall guy as well, which will help him in a way, but
oh yeah, he's rangy.
Yeah.
He's definitely rangy, and
I mean that's the type. I mean, he might be one of the best strikers in the UFC. Like, technically, he could be one of the best strikers in the UFC.
Yeah, I think he's obviously very, very fucking good, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
like,
obviously, yeah.
It's hard. I think I might have a controversial one here and go with the champion.
You're gonna go with Jan.
I think I will. You know, and I just keep going through it in my head, and I just think like if he catches him clean, you know, you look at the people that Jan's knocked out recently, the big guys and the durable guys, and he's knocking them out. And I think if he does catch Israel clean, I think he will knock him out.
Yeah, I just merely for the fact that, you know, we'll go head to head. I'll take Adesanya. I was on the fence a little bit, to be honest, and I agree. If Jan can catch him, then it could spell disaster. But Izzy's quick and very technical, so I feel like he can get it done. And take.
Although I will say, I'm not. I know of Adesanya's a world-class fighter, and I'd take nothing away from him. But I'm not a big fan of him. If that kind of makes sense.
No, I get it.
I don't like the John Jones thing, and I think he was saying previously. I think John Jones was saying, you know, if you're going to talk that much, come up and meet me. We'll fight the title.
Yeah.
And Adesanya was kind of like, oh no. If you want to fight, come and meet me at middleweight. And then it kind of felt like, I'm not going to move up to you. And then as soon as John Jones goes, he's gone, oh, I'll fight for that heavyweight title. Which I think is a bit of a, what word to use? Not a coward, but
could be
I think he has dodged him a little bit.
Yeah, it could be game plan at the same time though, like building it up even further. Because now he knows if he wants to fight John, he's got to go up to heavyweight, and he could be on that mission to become the first ever 3-weight world champion type of thing, or like hold the 3 belts simultaneously.
Yeah, I think that'll be a ballsy move. If he wanted to go from like middleweight up to heavyweight and fight those monster guys.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, I don't care how good you are, how quick you are as a striker, or like if Adesanya gets in a cage with Ngannou, he will die.
He might do.
He will die, but if you want to do it, I'll be the first one to say fair play to him. Like, well, if you're ballsy enough to try and be a three-way champ,
Yeah, I mean,
if you,
I don't know if you've
I
seen
mean,
the.
if he wants to try and hold the belts as well,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
would he
Like
just
bats
go off and
between
give
her.
one belt up, or I don't know.
I no
But
idea.
it'd be ballsy.
I don't know if you've seen the
Very
clip
ballsy.
from the fight where he fought Kelvin Gastelum after the fourth round, where he turns around to the commentary team and he's like, "I'm ready to die here."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, that's some fucking warrior spirit, that like.
Yeah, I mean, that can go either way, though, can't it?
Well, yeah, you live by the sword, die by the sword, as they say.
Yeah. And
Okay.
like I said, I'm not his biggest fan, but if he wants to do that, I'll be the first to say you've got some
Absolute
gigantic
balls.
balls, because that's not something that everyone does.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
fair play to him.
Right, well, moving on to a fight that should include no balls. Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. What do we think here?
I think there's only one winner.
Yeah, like Megan, I like Megan Anderson. She's good, but Nunes is a step above. Like, there's no one in the entire roster that I see beating Nunes. The only person I see her giving even a remotely decent fight is Valentina Shevchenko, and she's got her own weight division now, so I don't see that.
And
happening.
Nunes has beat her twice.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So,
you know.
It's
So
an
again,
interesting
like,
one though.
no, it is, but like you said, I don't see anyone beating her. So
No.
unless a new up and coming woman can do what she's doing, but whether Nunes will stay in the game that long.
Yeah.
But put any of them against her now, I'll always back Nunes to it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, even Chris Cyborg, I was convinced Nunes would beat. So, it's just, I just don't see anyone beating her.
I'd say if she was gonna lose, it would have been to Cyborg, and she
Yeah.
absolutely
Destroyed her.
demolished her.
The problem that you face when you face Nunes is she hits like a train. She has good hands, and then she can also grapple, and she's a black belt on the ground. How do you beat her?
I mean, I felt that's probably what all the women are asking it,
Yeah.
like each other, aren't they? Like,
Megan Anderson, she's 6 foot, maybe taller, so that's rare in the women's division to see like a 6 foot fighter. So she's got range, and fair play, Megan Anderson's got power as well. But I mean, if you're gonna have to take one of Nunes to get one of yours in, then you're going to sleep.
definitely,
I just don't.
100% agree.
Yeah, I like Megan Anderson, but for me, Nunes, especially coming back refreshed after having a break, her fiance just had the baby and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna maul her.
Yeah, again, I think you're gonna have to be very fucking ballsy to back against her.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely only one winner for me. I'll probably I'll definitely go with Nunes, still the champ.
Yeah.
Um,
If I had to give you a method, I would say knockout.
What method would you go with? Obviously the main event. I don't think we go for that then, did we?
I think if Izzy wins it, I think he picks him apart over the fight. I think he probably wins by decision. A bit like he did with Yoel Romero, where he kind of just picked him apart, stayed out of the danger, won the areas he needed to win.
Yeah, I'd say I think I'll go with the knockout personally.
Yeah.
Not sure what round. If I had to
Could
choose,
happen any time.
I'm gonna go round 3.
Okay.
I think in my head I'm seeing it as Adesanya's gonna stay rangy. It's gonna be 2 rounds up, and then next ring it's gonna be bang.
Yeah, just he could slow down as well. We saw in the Gastelum fight, as it went later, he was getting clipped more often. It's just I don't think Gastelum just had enough in the tank to hit him with enough to finish him. But there was definitely some scary moments in that fight. So that was a hell of a fight as well.
Yeah, it was awesome. So the third title fight.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a massive fan of Aljamain.
Same,
I think
absolutely love it.
he's awesome, man.
Coming out of
Um,
that Ray Longo, Matt Serra gym. I love it, everyone in that gym, I think.
yeah, I mean, he's coming up against a monster in. I'm going to say Peter Yan.
I think it's Peter or Piotr Jan, maybe.
I'm going to go with Peter.
Yeah.
We'll just go with Peter Yan. But yeah, Peter Yan's a monster himself. So, but I do really like Aljamain. So, um, I will definitely back him to win.
Yeah, I'm definitely be cheering for Aljo, and I hope Aljo wins, and I think he will win. Um, Aljo's strength obviously is wrestling and his ground game. I feel like if he can get him to the floor, then it's game over. Like we saw how quick he dispatched the Corey Sandhagen on the floor. He's a bit of a wizard when he's down there, so
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to go Sterling via submission victory. Not sure.
I would. Yeah, I would. I'm just trying to think of a method, and he's going to win. I'm gonna. I think it'll probably go all five personally.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah, and that division. I'm just looking at the rankings here, and there's some good fights to make after this fight as well.
Yeah, I feel like the next fight, if Sterling wins, has to be the rematch with Sandhagen.
That'll be crazy as well. He's come off an absolute.
I mean that knockout. Ugh.
Stunning victory. So that could possibly very much happen. But yeah, I'll go with a decision victory. And I think that will be the only change of title.
Right. Okay.
Personally.
I've gone for two changes of titles because I've gone for Adesanya, I suppose. But I don't see that Nunes title going anywhere.
No, definitely not. What do you think? Obviously, we spoke about the Santos and Rakic fight. How do you see that one panning out?
I think Rakic might win that one. He's
I do too.
Very good technical striker, so
I think he's one of my most liked fighters. I think he's incredible. But I agree. I think he'll win.
Yeah, there's going to be some hella fun fights. Like I can't wait, to be honest. I think I'll be sat there with me snacks ready to go for the full card this time. No one's distracting me. The phone's getting turned off.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. But it'd be interesting to see how Santos is.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Dominic Cruz bounces back as well after that last fight. Because obviously he felt that the fight was stopped too early against Cejudo. I don't know. He was wrestling, so he did have a good argument, but at the same time, he did acknowledge that he basically slumped down when he hit him. So the referee
watching it, it's one of them. I think when you watch it in real time, you probably think, oh yeah,
that's a good stoppage.
It's a good stoppage, and then when you watch the replays, and then you can still see him trying to wrestle.
Yeah.
And then you kind of think, oh, so I think it was just one of them. I think.
I always think in a title fight you should let it go that little bit longer just in case.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah, and but we'll see. We'll see how he bounces back from that. I mean, you're going. I know he was out the octagon for a while as well, wasn't he? So.
Like 2 years, 3 years or something. It was a long time out with those injuries.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the people that says that he doesn't believe in ring rust.
Yeah, he stays training the whole time as well, I believe. So
yeah, so I don't think he's hit beyond the fact that he had for so long.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how, like I said, he bounces back from that Cejudo loss.
True.
But we'll see. I've also noticed as well, just going away from that card for a split second, John Jones and DC have been going back at it on Twitter.
I did see. Yeah, so DC called him stupid, and he was like, "I set you up for a head kick and knocked you out. So who's the real stupid one?"
Yeah, he said he put together like a little like montage, didn't he? Where DC was going, oh, he isn't going to go up and knock anybody out at heavyweight. He hasn't got power and all that.
Yeah.
And then he put the video on of him knocking him out.
Yeah.
And it was like,
I think
he was a thick one now or something.
It all came from the fight the other night, didn't it? Because after the Garnet Rosenstrike fight, he tweeted out something like, "When Daddy comes home, you know, you don't want to be doing all that standing up with me around type of thing." And then I know Ngannou just like retweeted it and put "Daddy?" with loads of laughing faces. So, but yeah, I mean, he's not knocked anyone out in a while, so it's probably fair to say that he's not been as powerful. But then again, he wasn't as heavy as he's going to be as well.
Yeah, I think also as well, like with Jones, I just think he knew he was the best in light heavyweight division, and I think he probably knew that he could probably turn up on his B game, C game, and still turn up and win.
It's a bit like
and I
City,
think maybe, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
He's getting ahead and then he's just coasting.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know, if fair play to him if he does that, I think maybe he might have that fear factor again going up to the heavyweights and thinking they probably can turn off me lights in split second, like one mistake. So maybe that'll reignite the fire, and we might see the old John Jones. You never know.
I hope so. Be nice to have him back.
I definitely hope so. I say I've said to you like in the past, if John Jones comes up against anyone, I'll probably always back John Jones to win.
Yeah.
Because I think he's that good. So that will be interesting to see him going up to the heavyweights, and he's talking a big game, so he's going to have to put in some good performances.
You know, that's the problem. We it's been teased for so long, and we're just like, just announce a fight already.
I think it'll be announced after the
yeah, I think it will as well.
Ngannou Miocic.
He'll fight the winner, won't he?
Yeah, definitely.
For the belt.
I don't think there's any. It's coming up. I think when you're champion of one division, the only reason why you go up is to fight that champion.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see them dropping the belt and going to like you need to fight the sick rank guy, beat him, and then beat another one, and then get a title fight.
Yeah, it's like, no thanks.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I'm alright, good. I'll just
go back and dominate my
belt,
division, thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's definitely the fight. Whoever wins that fight will fight John Jones next, and I've got no doubts about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Okay, so to wrap up, we'll just quickly mention the cricket started yesterday. England first innings 205 all out, and I believe India 28 for 1 in reply at stumps. Yeah,
I can see this one going past the 2-day mark.
Yeah, it's still not the bounce back that everyone wanted, though, is it? At 205 all out.
No, definitely not. I always think personally, if you're gonna, you need to probably post over 300 if you're batting first.
Yeah.
I think anything below that's probably substandard.
Especially after winning the toss and deciding to bat as well.
I think, yeah, I'd say if you win the toss and you go, right, we'll bat first, you need to put a solid score in to say, you know. But
I guess after the first innings, we'll have a better idea of what was a good first innings total, I suppose. Like, if we go out there tomorrow and take those remaining 9 wickets for like 100 runs, then it was a good first innings total, I guess. But I guess we just don't know until then. But I guess that's something we'll recap on Monday's episode.
Yeah, and I think that was. I know there's been bits and bobs. I know there's a lot of rumours in the boxing world as well that AJ and Fury have pretty much agreed everything now.
Yeah, I think
including a venue. So
yeah, I think Bob Arum said that, was it?
Yeah. So probably maybe the next week or so we might get that official announcement that they're going at it as well. Maybe
hopefully we
June
talk about that on Monday.
Yeah, maybe June, July time, maybe.
Be nice. Just
Guarantee
just when we get
there'll
out of
be
lockdown.
yeah. I mean, guarantee there'll be a rematch clause in it.
Yeah.
So it will probably be June or July, and then probably December. I would say for them two fights. So fingers crossed that goes through, because that's probably the only fight that anyone wants to see as well. So hopefully everything goes well with that.
I agree, and I think that's everything from me. Unless there's anything more from you.
No, I think that's everything. I know, we usually go for the rugby, don't we? But there's no rugby this weekend, so
it's next week.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So,
Awesome.
say throw a like, subscribe,
Comment as well. We want to
comment.
hear
Yeah,
from
we
you.
are. Yeah, I mean, we are trying to do some other bits as well. To do more things, obviously with the podcast and stuff like that. So we're going to keep on trying to do that as well. So if you turn on the notification bell, you're the first to find out.
Exactly, and then obviously, as we've recently remembered to start reminding you, you can also find us over at Twitch as well. We stream, about 3-4 times a week. The link's down in the description, and likewise with that, Twitch will notify you when we go live if you give us a follow. So, find us out there playing all sorts of games: Minecraft, FIFA, Raft.
We will, I mean, we will eventually stream League play on Call of Duty as well.
Yeah.
I think at the moment we're just trying to, obviously the people we play with, there's certain things like some people don't come on certain times and stuff like that. But hopefully we're going to work out soon. We'll stream some League play, which will be interesting.
Yeah. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.